Welcome to episode 4. We had the pleasure of having Ron McKeefery on as a guest speaker this week. If you don't know who Ron McKeefery is, he's one of the most decorated strength and conditioning coaches out there. He's a 2-time National Strength and Conditioning Coach of the Year. In addition, he's coached in the NFL, minor league baseball, and numerous Division I teams. He is a well sought after speaker and has authored 2 different books, one of which we're reading throughout this internship. His book that we're reading is CEO Strength Coach, and it goes over many of the intangibles that strength coaches should learn throughout their career that don't involve the sets and reps. He's definitely a great inspiration of mine. I really appreciate how he encourages strength coaches to become so much more than coaches, to expand what they do, to look into finances, to look into leadership, to look into so many of the other areas that strength coaches so often miss. And throughout his book, he talks about having a unique selling point. A unique selling point is something that separates you from your competition. So often we apply to jobs and all of our resumes look very similar, but you have to have something that sets you apart. In addition, you have to have an elevator pitch ready at all times to sell yourself to someone you meet on a random basis. Ron is actually inspiration behind why I started this vlog, and he knew this, and so when he came onto the Zoom call, the first thing he did was, "Hey Jeremiah, if I were to call you today and offer you a position, what would you tell me is the reason why I should hire you?" And obviously this definitely put me right on the spot. It gave me some great food for thought, because I definitely need to have that, and I think we all do. In addition, and no matter what our careers are, we have to have something that we can share with others that separates us apart, that is readily accessible, it's always in our back pocket, so that we're available whenever the right opportunity comes. And that he shared with us that I really liked was the fact that you have to have multiple plans. You have to have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, all the way through Z. And Z might be something you really don't want to do, but you have to be okay with it just in case circumstances would force you to do so. If you don't actually accomplish your goal A, you're not going to be upset when you get your plan B or your plan C. You always have to have secondary lines of attack. And the quote he shared with us that I really like was, "Take intelligent risks, then take immediate action." So you're always moving towards those higher level goals. A second guest we had on this week was Dr. Mike Martino. Dr. Martino is currently a professor at Georgia College. In addition, he directs the strength and conditioning program there, and he previously was a swim coach for the U.S. national team. He also has spoken around the world and has conducted many years of research in the exercise science field. Dr. Martino spoke to us about the role of the foot, in addition to several other topics. The foot is so essential to performance, as all of our power output goes through our foot into the ground when we're running and jumping. However, it's so often not trained and so often not thought about. He spoke to us about the importance of training the big toe, the arches, the ankle complex, and how the fascia lines will actually dictate less probability of injury up the line. So for example, if we're talking about an ACL injury or something like that, oftentimes you can look to the foot for answers of why it would have occurred. The foot is not an area I have spent a whole lot of time on as I've grown in my career. However, it is now an area that I feel a desire to grow in and to learn in. And I think the really awesome thing about this whole internship has been so many different areas where I felt like I knew a good amount, but now I feel like I'm just barely scratching the surface. And every single week I feel as though I have a new thing I want to search out, a new thing I want to learn, and a new thing I want to grow in. And so thank you so much for coming back for another episode. I've really enjoyed sharing my experiences with you, and I hope you have as well.